Call of Duty just revealed their new Black Ops 7 trailer. From potential jetpacks, to wall jumps, to a co-op campaign, there's a lot to unpack. But there are still some unanswered questions to what this game could look like. Today, we dive into all of that. What I liked and didn't like about the trailer and what this means for the future of Call of Duty. And if this is the year Battlefield 6 takes over. Let's get into it. Okay, so BO7 was revealed at Gamescom today. They revealed a full trailer for the game. They showed a lot of shots from the campaign. They showed some multiplayer as well. They showed the different game mechanics and all that. But I think firstly, I just want to start off with the setting. I think I liked the 2035 futuristic setting that this game is kind of going for. After, I think, probably 2, 3, maybe 4 years of kind of modern day installments of Call of Duty, I think this shift is going to bring some sort of newness, freshness, nostalgia to an extent. Kind of the neon technology, the visuals that they're showing in the game. I think it's a fresh direction Call of Duty is taking. Again, that has nothing to do with gameplay. I'm just talking about visually. It looks cool. The trailer looks cool visually. Could be a fresh take for another Call of Duty game. Now, the two characters that we see obviously in there are David Mason, and then Menendez is also in it as well. Visually, the whole thing looks very aesthetic. If you look at different shots throughout the trailer, you can see the maps in different settings. I like how the colors pop. It just looks very visually appealing throughout the trailer. Another thing they talked about on stage was the psychological tone. I think why that matters is because it kind of brings out a different setting and tone from this Black Ops to other Call of Duties that have come out. It's not something that we've seen before, and it could kind of influence, I mean, heavily for sure, the campaign. That's what they showed mostly in the trailer, but just overall narrative and how the story kind of will pass on to other Black Ops after this one. It's a unique take, but I guess we'll really see if it pans out to be good or not. Hopping into the second thing that I liked, kind of piggybacking off the first one, is the campaign and the co-op story. So the co-op campaign comes back. They've actually done this before in Black Ops 3, and playing through those missions with friends, I think, changes everything. They said in the interview that the campaign won't have an actual difficulty like veteran, easy, medium, difficult, whatever. The more people that you play with, essentially the more difficult that the campaign gets, and I think I like that. You are able to play the campaign solo, but you are able to play with up to 4 people. And at the end, there's something called an endgame PvE mission. So there's, I think they said 30 people, 32 people in this mission. And you don't have to play it, but if you do and you lose everything. You lose all your gear that you've gained through the campaign. So interesting take on it. And there's progression in the campaign with a lot of the multiplayer thing as well. So there are some camos they talked about you can unlock in the campaign. XP you can gain throughout the campaign. So they're really trying to have engagement throughout all their modes, and not just multiplayer. So I do like that, because if they are pushing people to play the campaign, I'm kind of banking on the campaign being pretty good. So hopefully it turns out that way. And talking about the campaign, I can't confirm this, but if you look at the end of the trailer, I think it's Menendez with a huge arm and a huge body. I don't know if that's actual gameplay or that's kind of like the psychological, I don't know, dream or something that they're having throughout the campaign. But you've seen these games come out like Wukong and Elden Ring, things like that, right? These huge like bosses that like don't really make sense. I don't know, is Call of Duty going towards that? Is that a boss you're going to fight, like a huge giant? I don't know how that's going to sit with Call of Duty fans. I'm kind of open to it, but that just kind of shows what depth these guys are going to, especially if this game is a co-op game. I just feel like a boss like that is a really fun co-op mission to do, if that makes sense. So I don't know, that could lead to a lot of different things. That could lead to like maybe a massive open map or like multi-phase objectives, you know, wave defenses of boss fights. I don't know, but that just was interesting to see that one clip at the end of the trailer. I kind of compare this to kind of movies, like the Marvel movies or like superhero movies. Like you see a character die in a movie, right? But that's like an alternate universe, right? That's not that. That's in their own universe. But in another universe, they're alive and they're a whole different character. I kind of see the same thing happening in this game where the psychological warfare is kind of warping what they think in this world, but in a different setting, they think something else. I think this just creates an endless story, essentially. And I don't know if I really like that, because then, you know, if one character does die or isn't in another game, you're like, well, they could always kind of come back. You know, they're not really gone. They're not really finished. We've seen that throughout the Call of Duty games already. So kind of seeing that progression ecosystem, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how they do that. But just something that I noticed in the trailer and what they were talking about. Third thing that I liked, and probably the most important thing to everyone playing Call of Duty, the multiplayer maps and the visual design. Now, we didn't get too much multiplayer game footage. They're having Call of Duty next on September 30th, which I think they'll show more multiplayer then. But they did say they have 16 new 6v6 maps plus 2 20v20 skirmish maps. Now, they've had those other big 20v20 maps in other Call of Duties before. I'm going to be honest, not that many people play them. I did play them a few times. It just doesn't work with the Call of Duty playstyle, in my opinion. Call of Duty is just TDM, domination, free-for-all, small-ish to medium-ish size maps. I'm sure people will give it a try, especially with a lot of people playing the Battlefield 6 beta recently. Bigger maps, more players, a lot more to do. Maybe it'll pop off, maybe it won't. I guess we'll have to see. But I'm just looking at some of these maps that they put out. I mean, they just look super nice. The colors are really nice. I like the Tokyo map a lot. That Alaska map is really nice. The Los Angeles map they showed in the trailer as well, with the road kind of going in the air with the cars. That looks super cool. They're bringing back old Black Ops maps. They're bringing back Raid, and they're bringing back Hijacked. But the most important thing about the multiplayer for Black Ops 7, they have to make sure the new maps are good. As a Call of Duty fan, I love when they bring back old maps. It's great. Those are nostalgic. They're great. But it gets to a point where those maps get a little boring to play. As someone who has over 350 hours on Black Ops 6, I kid you not, the only memorable map on that game was Skyline. I don't remember any other map being great or wanting to go back to that map in Black Ops 6 at all. If Black Ops 7 wants to be successful, they have to have good maps. They can look visually appealing, cool, like they do. They visually look very nice. But if they don't play well, people are gonna play it a couple times and then it's just gonna die. And another interesting thing they brought up in multiplayer, they didn't show many guns, but they did say that if you take a screenshot of your class and whatever gun you're using, it'll automatically pop up a code. And if you send that code to one of your friends or someone else, they can type that code into their game and they'll get the exact same class with the same attachments for that gun. That just means those meta loadout videos are going to go so crazy on YouTube and TikTok now, because those guys are going to make the video and just pop up a bunch of different codes at one time to show different classes and different guns you can use. I do like that, because listen, once in a while you want to go on and see what a meta loadout is for Call of Duty, you know, but then you have to like take a screenshot of each individual attachment. Now you just have a code, you can pop it in the game and you have exactly what that guy's using. So that's just going to mean endless meta videos, by the way. Endless meta loadout videos coming on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, everything. But it does make it easier to take a loadout or a class from someone else and make it your own. So I do like that they added that. Very cool addition. The next thing they talked about was movement / omni movement. I don't know if I love or like this one. I'm kind of in the middle about this one. So they're bringing wall jumps, grappling hooks, and tactical omni movement to Black Ops 7. I don't know if Call of Duty does this on purpose, not just with omni movement, but just how they make their games in general. Black Ops 6, they gave us everything in terms of omni movement. Slide canceling, diving in every direction. I mean, dudes were moving crazy in that game. Then a year later, they bring back omni movement, but if you look closely, you can only use it if you have a perk. You can only tac sprint if you have a perk. You can only grapple hook if you have a perk. So they're giving you those things, but kind of taking it away at the same time. They'll give us something and then take it away in the next game, and we kind of applaud them like, wow, good job. But they're not actually doing anything different. They're just taking away what they already put in the game before. It's just how Call of Duty's been rolling for years, and people are still buying the game and still playing it, like myself. So I don't know. I'm just bringing up a point. Next thing that I don't like or love, I'm just kind of worried about: skill-based matchmaking. Probably the number one or number two most talked about thing in Call of Duty. Probably cheating is the other one as well, but this one is talked about so much and is critical. Skill-based matchmaking is critical for Black Ops 7 to be successful. I don't know how strict the skill-based matchmaking will be. It's been very strict for the past few years, and that's what has turned so many people away from playing Call of Duty. Don't you just want to log into a game, sit back, and just be like, okay, here's a nice 40, 50 kill game, and you get those games. But then 1 or 2 games after, you are put in the sweatiest lobby of all time, and you just don't want to play. You quit the game because you're just getting killed every 2 seconds. That's the one thing I really liked about the Battlefield 6 beta, is the skill-based matchmaking was so loose. It was so fun going into a game and just getting kills all the time. You didn't have to worry about dropping too many kills and being in a really sweaty lobby the next game. It was very fun to play that way. But yeah, that's really like the end all be all for this game, is if skill-based matchmaking does not loosen up a little bit, people will not want to play this game. Another thing that I didn't like was the pre-order beta access. Now, this is a small thing, but I think it's big in hindsight. The Battlefield 6 beta was free for everyone to play for 2 weekends, right? If you wanted early access, you had to watch a Twitch streamer stream the game for 30 minutes, and you got an access code, and you got to play. Didn't cost you anything. You could just put your Twitch stream up for 30 minutes. You don't have to watch it. You get the code. You're good. For Black Ops 7, to have early access, you have to pre-order the game. Now, everyone can play the beta for 3 days after that, but I don't really like that they make you pre-order the game to just have early access. It's just, I don't know, it's just small things that I noticed that Battlefield 6 didn't do that Call of Duty's still doing. I don't know. If I understand some people say that Battlefield and Call of Duty aren't really competing, and I can see that because their audiences are so much different now. When Call of Duty said that they're not worried about what Battlefield 6 is doing, to a degree, you kind of have to agree with what they're saying, because I truly don't think they think of them as competitors anymore, because their audiences are so much different. Both people who play Call of Duty and Battlefield are just so much different in play style, so much different than what they're looking for. Both products are just not the same anymore. Maybe they were a few years ago when play styles were a little bit different, and you know, all these microtransactions and these skins and all these things are coming into the game, and Fortnite and blah blah blah. But the games aren't very similar, so I could see why they don't really care about what Battlefield 6 is offering or not offering, or what Call of Duty is or not offering. But I don't know. They also brought up the Vault Edition, which obviously has the Battle Pass, the skins, and all that. I don't know. It was just kind of like, when I saw that, I was like, damn. Like, damn. Like, I knew there was gonna be a Vault Edition, but I was like, just don't be there. But there were some discussions about having skins off in the game. I think that would be a good addition to the game. If you're playing it and you don't want to see the skins that they add in the game, you don't want to see Bart Simpson, you don't want to see Family Guy skins in the game, I heard, I don't know if this is true, but you could turn that off. If that is an option, I would love to do that, because truly I don't want to see that. I just want to see Call of Duty player skins running around. I don't want to see cartoon characters. I just don't. I just don't want to see that. I think a lot of people can agree with that. So let's hope they add that, but I guess we'll see when the game comes out. Okay, so my final thoughts on the trailer and what I think about Call of Duty as a whole. Initially, when I saw the trailer, I'll be honest, I wasn't moved. I wasn't like, oh my God, Call of Duty is back. To me, I was just like, okay, this looks cool. It's different. It could be fun. It's been a long time since Call of Duty has kind of pulled me in and been like, oh my God, I can't wait for this game to drop. I've said in the other videos, Battlefield 6 made me feel like that. As someone who's played Call of Duty my whole life, Battlefield 6 pulled me in more than Call of Duty has the past few years. So I feel like we're in the same spot again every year. We're kind of sitting here waiting for the game. It comes out. It's fun for a few weeks, maybe a few months. And then the maps start getting boring. Skins start popping up out of nowhere. The weekly challenges maybe don't get as interesting as people think. And then the game kind of falls off and dies. I hope that doesn't happen. I really truly want to love a Call of Duty game like I did in the past. But I just don't know if they can go back to that style, especially with the market that they're in now. They are a heavy microtransaction, battle pass buying, skin buying game, and that's making them a lot of money. You guys got to understand, they are a business at the end of the day, and they are making so much money from this that they are putting that as their main priority. And as a business, it makes sense, but as loyalists and fans who've been playing their game for so many years, it does suck. It sucked that I don't feel that same way that I felt in Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 and MW2 and MW3, the good old days, like I always say. But yeah, those are my thoughts about the trailer that dropped. More content on this will be coming soon. Battlefield 6 content is going to be coming soon as well. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see y'all in the next video, man. Peace.